and today we're going to discuss about the AI opportunities and challenges. So this is not going to be deep into what is artificial intelligence, how we are going to design the machine learning or deep learning or whatever the technology we have. But this is going to be in general, what are the opportunities that AI is creating now, and especially the challenges we have because of this growth of AI. What are the challenges and threats we are going to have in future is going to be the topic for discussion today, as well as the potential research areas and projects in the challenges also can be pondered into. So let's go to the first. You'll be there. What is the current trend that is going on in the technology development and where we are focusing now in the market? If you see, these are the areas, the essential 8 technologies they are focusing now, and as well as the research point of view. Internet of Things, as you know, IoT is going to be, all the products are going to be in IoT based products, which will be interacting. No, as we know that we can switch off the AC from the car. We can switch off the light from the car, and if you say the light to switch on, just if you speak light to switch on, it will switch on. Like now we have the Alexa, right? Based on your speech, it gives you a song. The same like that, we have all the products going to interact with this and interact with the help of internet. As you know, Alexa is not having any storage inside. Everything is cloud storage. As you say the thing which song you want, it takes from the cloud. So that is going to be a future, and Internet of Things also play a vital role. And it is main source of data collection for artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence need data, and the data will be coming from these IoT devices. So that's why IoT is also will have the potential of growth along with AI. And other places where these research centers for and industries and researchers work is augmented reality and virtual reality, AR and VR. And also we have now MR, this mixed reality. So augmented reality means, you know, there is actually the real environment. We have the real environment and then they try to simulate in that. Virtual reality is, we don't have a real environment, everything is virtual. Like we can see we need a Google Glass, and then we play games with that and entirely going into the virtual background, and then we play the games, not the real background. And wherever you want the virtual background, you can have. So that's how these AR and VR also plays the parallel role with our AI in the research, and that also is growing. And also we have the another one is blockchain technology, not much with us, mostly IT sectors, they do research on this. This blockchain technology is more on data, permanent data you want to store and nobody can change the data. Then we have this blockchain technology, and all the data are stored in the blockchain and the address will be there. So if you want to tracking, especially, you know, the tracking is easy in the blockchain from where the source came and where it was before. For example, you want to track where the product came from. Or you want to track where the documents came from, who had the document first, who had the document next. All this tracking is easy in case of blockchain technology. That is also the potential area we can work on. 3D printing, as usual in the manufacturing industries, we have 3D printing technology. Drones, very, very important now. The drones, AI in drones is very much potential as well as threat. As you know, recently the drones are being used in Saudi Arabia as well as in the Abu Dhabi for the destruction and the mishaps happen. So these drones are going to play a vital role in military also in near future, because the drone can be like an insect, drone can be like flying objects. We don't know how the drone comes, and it can stay in one place and then attack. It can be there, it can, that is unknown. Drone will be like an unmanned air vehicle, but it will be there somewhere unknown and it will be tracking us. And when the time comes, it will try to distract. So more now drones, more than potential things now being used for the other purpose. But drone research is, and the amount of investment going into drone research is more because it has potential along with AI. And as well as robotics. there is a evergreen field robotics because AI, the humanoid robots, now you can see the robots in restaurant, robots moving through the restaurant, robot as a tour guide, robot teaching, and more, that all artificial intelligence inbuilt in the robot. So not only the sensors now, the robots can able to think. So that also is possibility for good purpose, as well as, like we see, robots can also be a threat to human if it starts to learn by himself or it is misleading. Any program that is misleading robot, it can also end in adverse results. So is AI changing the world? Yes. How artificial intelligence will change the world? The future of AI is going to be very bright. In they say because of AI, there's going to be 50 million jobs or more than that is going to come because of artificial intelligence. And many countries, especially US and China, they're investing more. You know, they compete now. Who is the supreme power? So the US and China is implementing more money into this technology, and 2030 China has declared they'll be superpower in AI, and they are now into manufacturing, they are now into education, they are now into even the, as already mentioned, that AI is going to even correct the essays, and the AI will help the teachers in the lab. AI will help the teachers in that means the robots with inbuilt AI is going to help teachers in understanding. Suppose the students of different language they speak, it will interpret and give us what the question is asking. So in so many places they are investing, especially the biometrics, and so many places understand face recognition, who is coming, and all those things. Everywhere they want this artificial intelligence. So that definitely it is going to change the world. So what is AI? As you know, AI is a system ability to interpret external data correctly, right? So from that data, it learns for the specific goals it wants to achieve. So AI is all about the data. If your data is not correct, your AI design is going to be wrong. So most hard requirement of the AI is the data. The extra, how much data you give, external data, that is going to help the AI to perform well. And if you want to reach a specific goal, and your input is your data should be correct, and more amount of data is going to be more amount of accuracy. So that's a drawback we have in the AI. And but however, if you have more data, that is not going to be a drawback. So AI is broad, is not persistent to only a few things. But for us, coming to the engineering, it's going to be narrowed down to AI, to machine learning and deep learning. So what AI does? First is building natural intelligence for machine. So even way back in 2008, I think artificial intelligence started way back in 90s. Also, they're talking about the intelligence for machine. Now, when computer came, most of the work was computer doing, and they thought the jobs will not be there. But now computer only is creating a lot of jobs. So the same thing now they want the machine to be intelligent, and because it can work 24 hours. And artificial intelligence also leverages computers and machines to mimic the problem solving. Any problems you already train the artificial intelligence, it can solve easily, as well as it can make decisions more and capable than human. And so in a nutshell, we can say the system that thinks like human and system that act like human is going to be the future of AI. So everywhere in future, we can see robots in the corridors, robots in the self, robots in the house cleaning, or you can have drones flying, and without your knowledge, artificial intelligence will be tracking all your information, all your activities. Everything is going to be future AI, and nothing is going to be private. So now for us, artificial intelligence in respect to technology, AI is not just machine learning or deep learning, so much things there. And we have in even 1998, I still remember I took elective artificial intelligence, and there we have Lisp programming, and it was long back. And in the machine learning, deep learning, also part of AI, it's not complete AI. And we can see this machine learning teaches inference and decisions. Deep learning also takes the role in classification. For example, machine learning, deep learning can be used on the medical field also to find out, to identify the cancers. whether cancer cells or non-cancerous cells. That's called classification problem. Or they say the prediction. You want to predict whether tomorrow's weather. Now all weather forecasting is AI. Now we say when they say rain comes, rain is coming. It's not like that 10 years or 20 years back. But if they predict now that rain is going to come, it's coming, it's because of AI. And even one more point I want to add, this vaccine which was coming for COVID was very fast because of AI. Because thousands and millions of protein structure is been given for the AI to train. And easily train AI told what COVID protein required to nullify and make it as a vaccine. If you allow humans to find out, it will take more amount of expenditure on humans to find out each protein they have to give and they to check whether it is destroying that structure. But AI will tell this protein will destroy this. Okay, but we need data, good data, past data. So how this machine, when you may have questioned also into this new, what is machine learning and deep learning, how it differs? See, machine learning, you have to give the features. For example, if it's going to identify an apple, then you have to say apple is round, it is reddish in color, or light red, purple, green, all different types. You have to tell the features of the particular object you want to identify. But deep learning, that feature itself, it will learn. That means the rules, it will create itself. Machine learning, you have to create the rules. Okay. But so we may ask, then deep learning is better, no? You just give the data, it learns a feature by itself, identify it is apple. But machine learning, you have to give the data and you have to tell the features. If it is round, if it is red, if it is green, then it is apple. Then you can say deep learning is better than machine learning. Not certainly. Deep learning requires millions of data. If you have, suppose for apple, you need at least 1,000 images. So imagine the amount of data required. For to be accurate, if you give 100 data also, it will say it is apple, but more the images you give, more it is good, but we don't have in all the cases. That is why deep learning is, you can go for deep learning if you have large amount of data. You can go for machine learning if you have less amount of data. So it's all the switch over how you make. Hope you understood that. And neural networks, of course, it is part of deep learning and it's also been used for human, how these neural cells are happening in neuron, the same technologies. When neural networks came, none way back, it is there in 80s itself, but we thought neural networks only in research. Now it is taking full-fledged and coming into artificial intelligence because of the improvement in processes in computer. So more the PCs are working, the development is there in the processing speed and everything. This neural networks solving the problem becomes easy. Otherwise, it takes 10 days, 20 days to train. Now it takes in a second or a minute to train. With the NVIDIA platform, no? We have NVIDIA processors and all those things. It's very easy to train the neural network. As well as we have NLP, natural language processing. That's also taking the heart, the reading and understanding the language by machine. Now they say, Alexa, when you speak English, it understands. Tomorrow, when you speak in your own language, it will understand. Now they're training Alexa with Arabic. When they speak, it can understand. So all these are natural language processing that is being developed all over the world. So somebody speaks in Japanese, then it will translate to in English. Okay, so you want to talk something to somebody, then you talk to the machine will translate to the particular language to the person. So that is also potential area now they are looking into. And computer vision is, like I said, identifying apple or identifying the colors. All these things are computer vision now. And cognitive computing, same, trying to mimic the human brain. So by analyzing the text, speech, and images. So cognitive computing is also playing a vital role now compared to all other technology. Combining all the technologies, cognitive computing is coming into picture to mimic the human brains. So these are the different combinations of artificial intelligence. So you can see from the diagram, artificial intelligence is a broad area. In that we have now the potential as machine learning, deep learning, and data, all playing with the data, big data. In computer IT field, they worried about the big data. Facebook has a lot of data. YouTube has a lot of videos. How to manage this data, where to store, how to handle it. When you ask, it has to come immediately. So now they say YouTube has the memory storage in more than 15 football ground size. And they have the data science. They want to analyze the possible experimental data and all those things they're analyzing. So this field is going to rule for next minimum 25 years. And the jobs and the potential area is also more in these three fields. All, if you know to play with the data, we have a lot of opportunities in research as well as in the jobs. And future jobs are going to be created more in AI. And all these things require only few programming. If you purely are a data scientist, then we have the programming in R and other languages. If you're going to be in machine learning and deep learning, Python will do it. MATLAB, of course, is used, but Python is widely used because it's a free source software and a lot of inbuilt libraries. So how artificial intelligence came, we can see 1950s, the early artificial intelligence started. And slowly in 1980, machine learning started. And you can see in 2010, the deep learning now ruling the AI. So this is the how the origin of AI, ML and DL happened. There are three types of artificial intelligence now. You may not undergone this. They say narrow intelligence, general intelligence, super intelligence. Which one you are working into? Okay, so narrow intelligence means that is working with only one problem. Your solution will be there only for one. For example, Alexa, only for speech recognition, right? That is an AI. You speak differently, I speak differently, I pronounce differently, you pronounce differently, but Alexa is still able to identify. That's AI inbuilt. So that is the one where you say narrow artificial intelligence. That means only for one problem it can address. And the next one is artificial intelligence in general. We make it for in general, it can solve the problems, any manufacturing issues or any identifying image issues. In general, you make, then it's going to be an AGI. And super intelligence is going to be very, very conscious because you are making it to act like a brain. So many misunderstanding that happens in super intelligence. Then it is like we see in movie that robots killing human can happen in near future. Okay, so that is why they want the universal committee to be formed on AI, how AI is growing, how they are framing the data, what is the safety they are making. If like a simple mistake, we don't know what is the reason, but we feel that corona might have come from a lab, right? So that could be a mistake or not mistake, we don't know. The same way, artificial intelligence, suppose they make mistake and that learnings and they make super learnings, a different way that can be a threat to humans. And if what they say in the research papers, if corona can kill people 10%, 20%, the super intelligence misled can kill 100% of humans. Then nobody will be on earth. So like that, the intelligence can go to robots or any humanoid, but carefully it has to happen. Recently, if you see in one of the, I don't mention the lab, the very famous company's lab, true artificial intelligence machines started to talk to themselves. They did not notice this. They did not even understand how they are talking, and they have to shut down the lab. Because when they start interacting with the two machines automatically without their knowledge, that means they can take different data, different things, and they act differently. So that is the concern of challenge in AI that we'll be discussing. So AI usage you can see in Facebook now. In Facebook, when you open a photo, related photos comes. And Facebook tells what you want to see, who posted first, and related to posting, what are the posting available. All this are artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence e-commerce. Now, when you select a shoe, related, all the articles will come. Suppose you have already seen the shoe, it will show this is what your past history. This then all this searching automatically and then giving you the information is artificial intelligence. On Netflix, if you see, when you open a video and you watch, next time you can see what you want to watch, it will suggest. That is AI. On YouTube, when you see YouTube, one video, related videos will come for you as a suggestion. That is for recommended videos. That is AI. AI in Google Map. So Google Map, there will be different path to reach a destination, but it will tell you which is the shortest path and easiest path to go. That is AI. Okay, so even Google Map it is used. AI in weather forecasting. So today it is like this, tomorrow it will be 1 year down the line, what is there, what happened last year, previous 10 years, everything forecasting now is in AI. Now predicting strokes, whether you get a heart attack or not, if you're just taking a picture, it will say whether you will get strokes or not near future. So that's how the AI is growing. But the data should be correct. Otherwise, if you don't have a stroke, also it will say you'll get a stroke. So depend on AI, we should have a good quality data. AI in healthcare is unimaginable. Can you see here the robots seeing the scanned image and it will tell you whether you have tumor or not. Okay, so this is what is the near future. And even now the robot assistant based surgery is happening. The stitching after the surgery is done by robots, not humanoid robots, with the help of the machines. Still robots are not full-fledged into the operations, but even CT scan it can see and tell you accurately whether there's tumor or not just by scanning. No? We can see in even movies just scanning all the pages in 5 minutes, 1 second and getting the data like that. It can see the scanned image and it can infer the whether there's a tumor or not like that from the CT scan reports. So it is very, very helpful in healthcare now in assessing the so many informations. This is a potential area we can look into. This is very, very important. You can see AI in UAV, unmanned air vehicle. You can see all the black ones, right? You can see here, these are all drones. So they're less flying. They'll only target the flight, but from this flight, this many drones will be sent down and it will go and settle it in the ground for some time and then it will shoot up to fire the target. So unimaginable now drones in military. Those who are going to have high-fi artificial intelligence in the military, they are going to rule the world in near future. So that's what they predict and they're investing a lot of money into this. And you can see the small drones flying along with the actual flight. So this will go settle down somewhere and then hit the target after some time. So this is also potential area where AI is used. Now coming to the jobs, World Economic Forum 2018 predicts that 50 million new jobs will be there in AI, and it can also replace jobs, the human jobs. But it will create jobs like a computer. When you had in 2000, we had a worry that it will replace humans and no jobs. But now we have more jobs. So in such a way, when we know AI, then your jobs are there. But it's a job enhancement, we can say, instead of job displacement. AI. So opportunities in nutshell, we can see the opportunities in AI in autonomous vehicles. The autonomous vehicles. We know the without driver, right? Without driver, they are trying to make the vehicle move. We have robotics in process automation, logistics, and we have in customer service, chatbots. You know, chatbots are replacing call centers. Representatives, chatbot itself interact with you. When you open, say hi, it will say, hello, how are you? How can I help you? Like that, the automatic message comes. So there are chatbots. So that is also the area now they're looking the development. Customer relationship, like when you have to send the mail to customer, when you have to send the price bill, when you have to interact with him, all this thing, AI will tell you. Now in the email, you can see that automatically it comes today you have webinar when you just taking the time inside. Google tells you if you have a Gmail, you have a mail coming into you that you have a webinar some 1 week back on this time, the same day it will notify you that you have a webinar. Okay, so that's all into the AI and payment services, translating the language, HR process, digital marketing, manufacturing industry, more in manufacturing and predictive maintenance, automations. It will tell you if you're doing this mistake, your downtime will be more. and it will tell you when you have to go for just the image, taking the image of the machine manufacturing. It will tell you the maintenance has to be done. The parts are getting less. You don't have sufficient parts. All these things, the manufacturing it is playing a vital role. And behavior prediction. So for example, the driver is driving and is not driving properly, is about to sleep, then it will indicate you your driver is sleeping. So like that, the behavior predictions also there now, the more research is going on. And decision making, more AI is in decision making, like setting the set value in the industry, or decision making in finance, forecasting in the shares even they use AI to make the decision where to invest. And now you can see AI based shares are more. Over the industry who is working in AI, their in share amount is going high because the future is AI and healthcare industry. So that's about the opportunities. Any questions so far? In opportunities, then I can answer.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the difference between this general intelligence and super intelligence?
In general intelligence, for example, you make the device to work for a specific purpose. For example, you make the device for only for maintenance, like you want to predict whether maintenance will come based on the data, input output data from the machine, and based on the pictures taken, whether there's a gas evaluation from the manufacturing, like that. When you make something specific, then it becomes general intelligence. But super intelligence means it will take the corrective action by itself. We say the person is very smart, like that means that we say we don't call everybody smart. We say few people smart because they can take decision wisely in the correct time. So this super intelligence not only integrates the predictive, it also take corrective action. And that's why the problem, the corrective action can be in a positive way or as well as in the negative way. Because if you allow the machine to take corrective action, you should be very careful.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Doctor.
Yes.
Can you just let us what is the opportunity in industrial manufacturing?
Yes, I think I do have the slide for it. In manufacturing, especially because you're more mechanical out there, I just want to put this slide. You can see that McKinsey report suggests that AI can improve forecasting accuracy in manufacturing 10 to 20%, and 5% reduction in inventory cost, 2 to 3% increase in revenues. So these are the areas you can the AI is used in. Even 1%, 2% increase in revenue is huge amount in terms of industry turnover. And other benefits, you can see predictive maintenance to reduce the unplanned downtime, and in advanced manufacturing technology like 3D printers, robots to reduce the labor cost is used, and also to ensure the efficiency. Wherever the design is efficiency and you want to reduce the waste and efficiency, especially in the energy, where all the energy is getting wasted, where all the heat energy is getting wasted, it can say, and if you use that heat energy for like this, it will suggest, then you can increase your energy efficiency. So where all the efficiency can be improved, then AI plays a major role. So remaining,
we are using, Doctor, this CNC machine already. So can be the part of AI CNC machines, all the advanced machines.
CNC machine,
they are like smart machines.
No, all smart machines we cannot say AI if they have the trained data into the machine. So suppose especially the AI is used for classification problem or prediction problems mostly, and just for particular purpose it is using, whether then you have to see whether there is a data they have used for training purpose or anything inside the machine. And whether it can able to suggest you something. No, if you start cutting the machine with CNC, if it says no, your cutting angle is wrong, you cannot do. You have to make like this for this machine. Analyzing the tool, if the CNC is tried to say no, you have to align the tool like this. This tool you cannot make this angle for cutting like that. If you suggest, then it's AI. If it's not suggesting, then it's not intelligent. You're only setting the value.
It has to be give some feedback for the given program. So it means so smart type of AI.
Yes. It has to suggest you based on the inputs whether you are correct or not, how to rectify.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
So remaining questions I'll reserve. I'll just go to the challenges. So most important part is now challenges. So far what you heard is you already know about AI. Now this is what is the something important. That is now what they're saying is they want explainable AI. Now AI is growing, a lot of issues are coming. So for example, one of the cases what happened, it predicted bank problem. It predicted that in future you will have loss. But actually because of that they made many things, and at last the loss what the computer machine told was wrong, the artificial intelligence. Because the one who designed the AI have not designed AI properly or not given the data, sufficient data to AI. And suppose in medical field, you imagine, suppose there's a person doesn't have a tumor, and if he says it's a tumor, you imagine the patients that time moment what will happen, and doctors what they will do based on the wrong predictions. So that is now they want because AI was a black box before. We don't know how AI is training the neuron, how much time, how many millions of neurons are used, and how much it is mixing. All becomes AI. There's a black box. All this the black box that they don't want now. Now research is going on. Explainable AI. How you did that? How you are saying that I will fail? How you are saying that I have error? Because you may ask how it is saying that AI is wrong. If you analyze the paper, they'll say 95% accuracy. That means 5% chance it is selling wrong. They'll say 0.95 accuracy, 0.94 based on the heat map and correlation, all those things. They say the accuracy. That means remaining is an error. That error when it will happen, we don't know. So now they are saying develop an AI system which is explainable. How you are training the neuron, how much learning models you are using, how many data you are using, how the data has been collected. All these things has to be explained. That is the near future. What is the problem? Why we have to go with XI? All systems are good, but AI make mistakes, and human users questions their decisions without explanation is going to be a problem. So we cannot blindly follow what AI is telling. So because the decision you take based on, suppose he's saying you invest in Tata XLSI for this much share, and you blindly invest and something happens, how we can trust? So now the research is going on explainable AI, not just AI. So there's a trade-off between AI accuracy and explainability. So what is all about that XAI is this. Today, the AI is focusing on training data, have machine learning process, have your learned function, and you recommend a task, right? This is a decision or recommendation. But we don't know completely. Can you see the picture? It doesn't know completely why it is saying like this, on what basis is saying, when it will fail. Nothing, not correct, right? So, but if you see this explainable AI, you can see that we have an explainable model. It explains the new machine learning. It's a new machine learning process on interface with the user, and also that user gives the task, and you can see the user can also know why you are saying that. On what basis? I know when you succeed, when you fail, when to trust you. That user should understand how it works. In simple say, it should ready to explain how the explainable AI is working. How AI is working, the end user should know why it is suggesting, based on what, how accurate, all these things he should know. So for example, what happened, we can also play with the AI. Some people, if they want to play with the AI. So for suppose this is a cat and it is similar to wild cats also. So this you can see the learned function. Suppose you give a picture of so many pictures of a different one, the training data of cat, and you make this to understand if these are all the features, it's a cat. And they say P is equal to 0.93. This is a cat, 0.93%, correct. That there's a chance of remaining 0.7, not correct. So, but here in the tomorrow AI, it will tell you this is a cat because it has fur, it has whiskers, it has claws, it has this feature. Can you see the topmost ear? Some cats, the wild cat, the ear design will be different, but cat ear design will be different. So based on this, I'm saying this is a cat. Like this, the answer should come from AI, not just saying this is a cat. Tomorrow it has to say this is a cat because of this. This is called explainable AI, which is the near future. So and the research is going on this, because just blindly now AI developed. Blindly following AI can mislead people. So here you can see the room occupancy, what happened, some data they took just by level of humidity and lighting is they just took, and they are trying to adjust the combinations. But here you see, considering the levels of lighting, CO2 and humidity, then only we can decide how many people are there inside. There is an empty room or people are occupying, not just by temperature, humidity, and also based on the carbon dioxide. So if they include all these variables into training, then accuracy increases. If they don't include this and they make only few parameters, then there could be a wrong. Okay, that's why we need explainable AI. How you are saying the occupancy in the room is more or less. So you can see the data challenges. Data is what's the AI. Okay, so I need the data. So AI is powerful only if the data are there. For example, just imagine children learn to recognize an elephant after a handful of images. You show some images of elephant, then children can see this elephant. But AI needs millions of pictures. Okay, so that's the difference between human and AI now, still now. Okay, whether you turn the elephant this side, you turn the elephant that side, children will say elephant only. But AI will not tell it's elephant if you only give the front picture of the elephant and you give the side picture of elephant to identify, it will be different. So that's how the data is a challenging one in the AI still. This is and IoT and AI data. Now that for that data, now IoT is giving the enough external data required for input for AI. In that input data can be a text image or numeric image or the videos or any type of input can be given to AI. IoT plays a major role. This also can be one point for anybody doing project, that IoT data you can collect based on IoT device. You can collect the data. That data can be given to AI and AI will give you the solution. That's how the projects are interlinked now. So data from IoT, decision from AI. Now the problem what they have is wire heading problem. It's being the hot problem in research. AI decides to cheat people now or even to kill. So that's how the world has to unite and have the common forum like climate change. We have the forum. There should be a common forum for AI development because they are trying to cheat. For example, in the one of the criminal cases analysis between the blacks and white racism was there. One of them designed whatever you give, it will be in favor of white. And whatever that means, it will say the white peoples are given whether he's a criminal or not. It will show he is not a criminal. If you give black, it will show he's a criminal. That what happened really, and the people tried to play with the AI. So just tomorrow they want to conduct election also through AI. So there's a possibility that they can manipulate it. Okay, so now if you make super intelligence robot, you should be very careful. For example, you may ask, even super intelligent, we are only training it, we are only making the robot how it can kill. God created the human brain for us to achieve the goal. But to achieve the goal, some people can also use the brain in the other way to achieve it. So the same thing, when you create a brain, mimic the brain to the humanoid robots, the robots sometimes can think differently to achieve the goal. And that can be hazardous for humans. So that's why super intelligent robots are very, very careful safety point of view. Now this wire heading is a problem in AI, especially the drones. You can see the super intelligence a challenge. Yes, it's developed. Even you can see it was developed by Google, was able to beat Lee Sedol in the game Go that is there in China, I think the game Go. So that the machine was able to beat the person in the game, and he could not compete with the system. The chess, you might have heard this already. Hermann Simon, who predicted in 1957 itself that computer would be able to beat the world. IBM's Deep Blue defeated Gary in 1997. Gary was the first person to say, I'm going to lose the job because of AI. Okay, so machine defeated the person in chess. So they become super intelligent because we may be occupied with so many things when we play. If something happened in the family, something happened on the way, something happened in the office, then he could have distracted him in the chess, but computer not. So the intelligence always works on these, are very focused on the task. So that's a thing you can see in this picture, that losing to the computer. So that's we can say the wolf in sheep's clothing. Is the AI is a wolf in sheep's clothing. You can see the third point. There's a cold tech war happening between China and US in the artificial intelligence. Who is supreme power? Both are investing more, and China, as I said, is using AI in education more, in manufacturing industry more, and I said the essays are being even corrected, and they are saying 95% accurate, and they are in China. The robots are using in helping assisting the students. Millions of questions you can answer in 1 second. Parallelly, when the people are preparing for competitive exam, you know how many people will be preparing. All they will have doubt. One robot can answer all those questions in a second. So that's the super intelligent they're making it in education side alone, and we don't know in military side. And this is the emergence of evil robots also possible. Some can use their potential for creating evil robots. In future, it can even inject an medicine without your knowledge. Like we see, any virus can be created without anybody's knowledge. So actually we fear, I told you, we fear pandemics, we fear nuclear war. Now time to fear artificial intelligence, because it can make 0% survival. If you see here, pandemic can only give extinction only 20% or 30%, but it can make you 0% survival in near future. According, I have given the source where it says this is a research paper. What's happening around us? So you can see Europeans would prefer policy decisions tomorrow. In future, they want policy decisions by AI, not by politicians. They are not trusting politicians; they are trusting AI now. Take policy decision based on AI, not by your brain. They're saying 47% of total US employment may be subject to automation in future. So these are all going around us, and we should be well aware of that. So the challenge is whether AI is biased. Okay, so yes, AI is biased if you don't properly. It can recognize white people versus people of color. It can say everything in favor of some person. We can make AI biased by the data and the programming. We can make it. So we should be very careful whether your AI is biased or not. Is it difficult to understand? Yes. Artificial neural networks and deep learning still a black box. We don't know how it works inside. We only know the input and output targets, but still we don't know how it happens inside. So what is the need of the hour? That is employment, creating the frameworks where humans and machine can work together. Ethics, commit to equip AI system with understanding of human values. Education, there's a strong link between the AI and the science and humanities. And we have the entity where we have foster cooperation regarding AI on international level. We should have the cooperation and the evolution. The pace of AI advancement should be with the changes in human IQ. So all these things should be considered in AI in this need of the hour. So in conclusion, I will say is AI is a necessary evil. Every technology destroys jobs. Am I right? But this technology also will destroy job in the near future. But before that, it creates jobs. So to a nutshell, we can conclude AI is a coin with the two sides, and how we move forward is very important. And AI has a lot of opportunities in various sector and future. You can see now, we can see the courses, be computer science with artificial intelligence, be computer science with the data science, be computer science with data analysis. So everything is moving towards this data, big data. So if you are entering into this data analysis, either you can be manufacturing expert or you can be maintenance expert, everywhere AI is there. And you start using this programming language and use it for your data, it can predict and tell you greater things what you might not predicted. So that's going to the near future, especially in medicine, in military. Who is going to shine in near future? They are going to supreme power. So that is why a lot of investment is happening in AI. So who is going to compete? We'll know in the near future, and that's how we move forward. And the challenges are going to be super intelligent machines can be a danger for humans, because as I said recently, 2 artificial intelligence machines started to talk themselves without the knowledge of humans in the lab, and they were worried. I don't know what they talked, so they have to shut down the lab. So it should not be like another corona happening in the near future. So let's hope that AI is for good, and let's face the challenge. Thank you very much for listening. I'm happy to hear your questions.